What's up? Let's talk the four strategies you need to have in place before you uh, do your first acquisition. Hopefully, you're doing an acquisition. It's not starting a business from scratch, but you want to have these even if you're starting a business from scratch. And it's amazing to me the number of people that do a bunch of work in a business or do a bunch of work trying to acquire a business, and they don't have these things in place. And part of this is a conversation that I was having with one of our future clients today, but it's just starting with the end in mind. And when you're buying a business, you want to start with the end in mind, which that means kind of putting together the deal in a way where you understand, hey, what is my kind of cash out from this whole situation? And then the other part of this that's bigger though is what's how does everything you do in business, every kind of project that you take on, how's it kind of get you closer to your end goal? And for most people, that's some form of retirement. So when you're looking at these four strategies, all of that is built around, building your holding company and building your strategy around your business from the perspective of where do I want to end up. Now, as y'all come in, be sure to say hello. Got about 15 minutes. We're gonna got a call coming up with one of our clients, Earl. Shout out to you, Earl. I'm looking forward to catching up. So we'll chat here. Feel free to put any questions in the chat. So the first one of these strategies is your investment strategy that's usually going to be in the markets. So we've got a call later today with the Patreon members where we're going over generating income from selling puts and options and that kind of thing, which I'm a very big fan of. I feel like there's just this huge opportunity to put that into a special purpose vehicle that's under your holding co. And it's really cool. I was speaking in Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and it was really exciting to see the number of people that are in the program right now that are looking to basically use this strategy in their holdco, which is basically generating income by selling puts. And a lot of times you're selling puts on stocks that also have dividends. So you have multiple streams of income that are coming in. And one of the reasons I start there with kind of the foundation of every holdco is it's one of the simpler ways to make sure that you're getting a consistent income, and it's eventually going to be one of the things that you make money off of in retirement. I say retirement, but the real point is financial freedom, so that you can do whatever you want. And kind of all four of these are built around that. So it's starting with the end in mind. The goal for all of this is to end up with financial freedom. And what most people end up with when they're in business is just a job. And so they're generating cash flow, but they're having to do a bunch of work in order to generate that cash flow. And the issue there is you're going to be stuck doing that work forever. And so the goal, if you're going to do any work, is it should be getting you closer to financial freedom. For some people, that means, hey, I'm just free to do whatever. I'm free to work on the projects that I want to work on and that kind of thing. Other people, it's like, hey, I'm free to chill on the beach. So I say retirement, but the real goal of this is just having the options and not having your income tied to putting in a ton of work. And so, this starts that process. And so as you're building your holding company and you buy each business, you understand that this business is contributing to my eventual financial freedom. So that's one of the reasons that piece of having the special purpose vehicle and having that as a part of your holdco from the very beginning makes it really easy to keep in mind that, okay, I'm taking the profit from here, I'm putting the money in there. And so the second part of the strategy, and again, this is important from the very beginning, is that you don't want to live off of the income from your startup or from your acquisition. The goal isn't to buy a business and then take that money and then live off of it. The goal is to buy a business, get access to the capital, that you can from that business. And so that could be cash flow. That could also be a lot of other ways to extract capital from the business, basically going and getting loans in the business name so that you can take that capital and make a kind of arbitrage between the cost of the capital and what you're able to generate from an investment point of view. And so, when you're looking at this from the HoldCo point of view, everything becomes, how can I maximize basically my financial freedom, right? So the second part of this is you want to have your passive investments. And this is really, really important. One of the greatest things about being a deal maker is you learn how to look at deals. So you learn how to look at businesses, you learn how to do due diligence on those businesses, you learn how to raise capital and all those things. But the real goal isn't to be the operator. And it's really cool to be able to connect. We have a bunch of clients that are in seven-figure businesses. And one of the conversations that we have is that, they always dreamed and thought that the goal was to be the CEO. But being the CEO is just a bunch of stress. That's what most people don't realize who haven't made it there yet. If you are the CEO and you're running a real, anybody can call themselves a CEO. But if you're running a real business and you've got 20 plus employees and you are truly a CEO and the business is generating at least seven figures, if not eight figures, you'll quickly realize like, oh, this just means I get to work for the rest of my life and I'm going to generate really great income. And the real downside to, even if you really focus on that strategy and you're going to generate a big income, you're going to save up that money for years and years and years, and you're bogged down in running that large business, what's going to end up happening is that you get to the end and you realize, oh, like, okay, I've got the money, I've got some cash, but I don't understand how to manage this money. And I've got everything at risk. Like now I've got a lot more money. And so that's why I think it's important with some of these strategies to start from the beginning, really, because that is the end goal, right? Let me know if this is making sense. Actually, we'll take a second, say hi to folks. Jamal, what is up? Says, hey, Ace. Oh, it's the pirate. What's up? When I saw, I was like, R, but I should have known it was R. What's up, homie? Says Ace in the space with the pirate flag. Great to have you. Any updates on the next Actors HoldCo intakes? Yes. So shoot an email. We're going through applicants and talking to folks right now. So shoot an email to Nori. I'll put her email in the chat for you. Sonori at Financier Bank with a C at the end. And we can get you rolling there. Does MBA make sense? That's actually a great question. I'll go through some of these other things and then we'll chat on that. Actually, I may not have time to even make it through all of these. Chap says, Ace, saw the notification, had to tap in, salute, thanks for popping in, and more importantly, thanks for saying hello. I appreciate that. Let's see. Have you heard of Chicago Booth? Would it help me to buy a business? I don't know what you know. I haven't heard of that, of Chicago Booth. Let me know what that is. So the second of these four things is you should be investing passively in deals. I just got an update for our June numbers for my deal in the hotel business in Medellin, Colombia. And, it's great to get the updates, and they're talking about, just some of the things they're doing. We had a really amazing June. In general, everybody wants to come to Medellin. That turned out to be an amazing, amazing business. But, somebody else was like, hey, I want to do some filming. There was actually a very big YouTuber and a good friend of mine who does a lot of travel stuff. And he's like, who do I contact to do that? I'm like, dude, I have no idea. This is a passive thing. Like I get, a deposit every month and that kind of thing. So you should be doing deals where you're not involved in any of the operations. And so that's that second thing. And it's a muscle. So you're getting good at that. When we're talking about generating income from the first strategy, you're getting good at that. You're practicing that. The third thing is you're also doing lending. So, I've done a ton of lending over the years, and it could be in deals. And again, it's still that same, if you're thinking about underwriting, it's almost like it's really the same as due diligence when it comes to deals. So, and it gives you another source of income. And so the interest income, there's a lot of tax advantages that you can leverage when you're getting that interest income. And so this becomes kind of the fourth place where you're generating your passive income. And as you're growing all four of these things over time, you're getting closer and closer to that goal of financial freedom. And so, as you do each deal that you do, the only purpose of those deals is to feed these other strategies. So it's really to feed those three strategies. And then the final piece is your exit strategy, which hopefully includes small exits over a long period of time. And then the ultimate exit, which will be, hopefully an 8-figure exit of some type. And one of the easiest ways is one of the reasons that we took a company public is to go through that process of like having an 8-figure exit. I've never done a 9-figure exit. I don't think that it's really necessary, honestly. I think if you end up kind of with a network that's over 8 figures when you're financially free, then you're going to be in a really good place. All right. Let's see. Those are the 4 strategies everybody should have in place. I've got this coming up in 3 minutes. Let's see what these questions are, and we'll pop out of here. Say hello as y'all come in. All right, so this was Big Mike's question. Yeah, the MBA program. I just think the most valuable thing today is experience. And I just think, man, I would feel like I'm losing time by not just going out there and gaining experience, especially when you're talking about like what we're talking about here. Like the real goal of an MBA is to put you in a place to do the work, right? And a lot of times it's going to get you a great job and that kind of thing. And so you can get that same experience, really not same, you get better experience by just doing the work. Right. So if you go out and you just do deals yourself, and even if they go wrong, in a lot of cases, it's going to be the same cost of the MBA program, but they really shouldn't go wrong. So it should just be kind of upside by going out and doing deals over a MBA program. So yeah, I'm just a big fan of getting out there and getting the experience. Yes, I think income in general. So this is great. Bimai says W-2 income will make you poor. And there's so many levels to this. One of the reasons that W-2 income will make you poor is because it's so highly taxed. So if you're spending your time getting something, and then whenever you get a little bit ahead, the government is taking, such a big percentage, especially if you're somebody that's a high earner and you're paying 40%. It's like 40% of your time is just thrown out the window. So to be able to use some of these other strategies, and let's say you buy a business, and now instead of them taking the 40% off the top, they're taking it after all of your expenses and all that. It just allows you to get ahead. The other part of this is just more of a philosophical thing. If you are playing the game, the way to read the tax code and understand taxes and just understand the game of money is to understand the rules. And part of those rules is the tax code. And the tax code really tells you exactly how to make money. So it's one of the reasons that people get into private equity. It's one of the reasons that people like Warren Buffett build a holding company and use some of the strategies. What I'm talking about, that first strategy that I mentioned, that was one of the biggest ways that Warren Buffett made income. In fact, multiple billions of dollars a year in with that specific strategy. So you want to look at, number one, what are the wealthiest people doing? And the wealthiest people aren't trying to promote something on Instagram. So you want to figure out what they're actually doing, and then you want to execute on what they're doing. And another part of that is literally not generating cash flow. This is one of the toughest things for people to overcome and think differently about, because when it comes to like everything entrepreneurial. There are, all these people on the internet and on Instagram, all this, and they're celebrating 6 figures in income, 7 figures in income, and that becomes the goal. And the real, like, that still is the highest level form of taxation, and the real goal is to exit. And so when you look at the people that understand the game, they actually are building businesses that don't make any income, but they're building it towards the exit. And so, with the HOCO strategy, what we're building is something that's only built around exiting. So that is a really great comment, BitMike. All right, I got to jump on with my client Earl. I love getting on and being able to chat with y'all. Had a little break here. For those that are in the stealth wealth level of the Patreon, we've got our options income in your holdco training tonight. So that will be a lot of fun. I'll talk to y'all soon.